Thanks for tuning into the Syck Beachh podcast, brought to you by West Crescent Vintage and your host, me, Bree Westry. Syck Beachh is where young creatives, movers, and doers come to hang out and talk about their lives and experiences as they set out to achieve their goals and their dreams, no matter how unconventional the method. Stick around, because it's going to be sick. Welcome back to another episode of the Syck Beachh podcast. Today I have the pleasure of being joined by the musician, CAELIN. Oh my gosh. Who is currently based in Austin, Texas. She recently dropped 2 ethereal singles, Serenity and Your Love. If you haven't heard of her, now you have. Thanks for joining us, CAELIN. So, you're originally from San Jose, California, correct?
Yes. That is a true fact.
Okay, so let's talk about... Okay, first of all, how would you describe San Jose? Because I feel like so many people, first of all, think that either California is just like this one big picture of just like sunshine, like, you know, but there's a lot of depth. Like, people don't know that it snows in California or like things like that. But what is your piece of California?
I would say that it's probably like one of the most beautiful places in the world. And I have a very deep connection with growing up near the ocean. Growing up in San Jose, though, was a very interesting experience because it was just, I always kind of felt like I didn't really ever belong there. And yeah, it was just this weird, like, kind of I was always kind of felt like out of body, and I was just like, this is like, it's a beautiful place to grow up, but it was just the people and kind of like the connections I had with people there were, I mean, I have incredible friends that I made there, but overall, like, looking back at like my journey to Texas and like looking back at like my experience in California, I was a very different person in California, which is very interesting. But growing up in where I grew up it was incredible. It was beautiful. I absolutely love California. It's a beautiful place. I just could never afford to go back. Not once.
What would you say are some of your favorite places back home? Like, if you were hopping on a plane right now, like, and after, of course, stopping by, seeing the parents.
Yes.
Where are your first places that you're going?
I automatically would get into my car and drive to Santa Cruz, it's about a 30-minute drive up this like beautiful hill, and it's just this windy road, windows rolled down, literally like straight up just like park myself at the beach, and I just like sit in the sand and just like hang out.
Oh my gosh, I always thought about that because I recently went to California for the first time, actually, and excuse me, burp, guys, but I was in San Diego, but watching the kids in Coronado, I think, right on the beach, and with their skateboards, and I just couldn't imagine
free spirits
like that. You know? I was like, oh my gosh, especially at their houses. I was like, I couldn't imagine just being like, I need a moment.
Yeah.
Let me just wake up and go to the beach. Because I don't know, New Orleans. Yeah. They wake up and go to the Mississippi. Like,
yeah.
It's great.
No, yeah. It's very healing. I think the ocean has always been a very like healing place for me. Every time I go there, I feel like every anxiety and fear, or whatever, like feeling of sadness or anything is kind of just like washed away. And yeah, it's just it's a great place. I mean, Santa Cruz would definitely be like the top of my list.
Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about actually growing up. So like, what did you get into? Like, so I guess like hobbies and things like that. I was gonna ask later, like, if music like was like right there from the jump, you know, like growing up, or, you know, just what in general, what was life like?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was a kid who was involved in so many different activities because my parents just supported that, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I, fun fact, tapped for 11 years. I know some tap moves.
You should bust those out on stage sometime.
They're coming.
I'm ready for it.
I gotta get some new tap shoes, and it's about to pop off. So yeah, I tapped for 11 years. I played soccer for up until like my sophomore, junior year of high school. It was like my most favorite thing to do, and then music was always like the foundation of like everything I did. I started singing when I was like 5.
Yeah.
I did like the local like parish theater like every summer, and
that's so cool.
And then about like 6th, 7th grade is when I first started singing in a cover band. So
was that Exodus?
No, that
because I have that on the
you're like, hey, Exodus.
I was like, is that what that was?
Yeah, no, there's some deep, you'll never probably find this out, but I was in a cover band called No General Direction with 3 middle school boys and me. We did like Led Zeppelin covers and like Creedence Clearwater Revival covers, Journey covers. Like, it was Smash Mouth. We also did Smash Mouth.
Oh my gosh. This is something I probably would like go see here in Austin, Texas. Like, I don't know if have you heard of Y'all Out Boy? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Y'all would be in that realm.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, that was like, honestly, like I've learned so much being in that band and like just like performing and singing. And then I was in another band in high school, another cover band called Cold Suspension. And that was pretty cool because it was like everyone went and saw like our concerts on like Friday nights, and it was like the thing to do. Like, we used to play in this beautiful like outdoor mall really close to my house. So that was, yeah. I mean, I've been doing music for a while. Yeah.
So I know you released, there was an album right in 2014, right before we came off to like college.
Right. Yeah.
What was it like making that one? Because like, that was probably like the first time you ever like decided that you were gonna record, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was like my junior year when I kind of was kind of moving from like playing in like a band to like doing more like of my original solo stuff. So yeah, I made that album, Write Your Song, in 2014, and it's mostly covers because I was still really new with songwriting.
Yeah.
And listening back to the songs that I wrote, I'm like, oh baby, those are so cute. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, it was an experience. I think like playing with musicians and like being in a studio for the first time as like a solo artist was very like, I learned a lot, definitely learned a lot. It's very interesting to look back at like who I was in the studio then and like who I am now. Because I kind of like back then I would kind of just let everyone just do, like
you were like, okay, they know best.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just sing.
Yeah, okay.
And I just would sit on the couch and then like everyone would be talking and stuff and I would just be like, yeah. But now it's more like, this is what, this is what's up. This is like what we're going to be doing, just because like I've learned more verbiage and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's releasing also, that.
Yeah, that I think verbiage and being able to like actually speak is like something that's just a complete confidence booster just in general.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because then you can actually explain like what is in your head. And I'm still working on, like, I'm still very much like a beginner and have so much more to learn, but yeah, it's definitely like, I was like, okay, I kind of know what I'm talking about now. But yeah, I was a literal child when I released that album.
I know, the cover art was so good. I was like, oh my gosh.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
So let's transition to coming to Austin. So I know you mentioned like how they're like completely like different worlds for you.
Yeah.
But how did you decide that you were coming here? Was it the fact that, like live music capital of the world and that's like what originally piqued your interest in the area? Mm-hmm. Or was it calling to the school calling you? We have a lot of people, like the school just kind of like
come to our school. Yeah, St. Edward's University.
I was waiting for you at the head doors.
Yeah, no, exactly. I actually had no intention of coming to Texas. My 2 options were LA, I wanted to go to USC, or Belmont in Nashville.
I love USC's colors. They're just,
I know they're
and
dope.
that little like Trojan like cheerleader like look.
Yeah, so cute.
For it.
So cute. But yeah, USC was far too expensive and gave me no money, and same with Belmont. And we were actually touring Belmont in Nashville like the summer of like 2014, and I just released like a super small EP, and I just kind of sent it to like a bunch of really small record labels, knowing that like most likely no one would respond or like reach out or anything. But I was just like, screw it, whatever, I'm gonna try this. And lo and behold, this gentleman who lived in Austin called us when we were in Nashville, and he was like, hey, I would really like to talk to CAELIN about her music. He knew the Eagles, and I covered Desperado by like the original Desperado by the Eagles.
Yeah.
He was like, I showed Glenn Frey this like song, and I'm also like good friends with Bruce Springsteen, and like I like
Casual name drop.
yeah, and I was
like, okay.
and growing up like covering like the Eagles and like, you know, like old like classic rock and roll. I was like, oh my fucking god, like this is so cool. But he was basically like, don't go to Nashville, just like come to Austin, like just come at least check it out. And my mom and I are both like, okay, like we, you know, what's there to lose? And basically, so my dad had sent in an application to St. Edward's because it was free to apply, and he like somehow got an email from them and like sent in an application. I didn't even know he sent in the application. And I got in, and then we were like, oh, like St. Edward's is there. They gave me a good scholarship. We went and like visited Austin.
It's just all the dots.
Yeah.
Connect, yeah.
Jimmy LaFave is the gentleman who reached out, and he had a label, and he was like, you are a 17-year-old girl and you don't know like who you are or what your music is, so we're not gonna like, you know, sign you or anything right now, but right, like living in Austin is the place you should be, because there's so many kind people here who will like help you like whenever you're kind of ready. And yeah, like fast forward to now, I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
That's so amazing too.
Yeah.
I mean, and his words were so right, honestly. Well, one, it's really cool to say like, hey, you have something that maybe needs to be developed further.
Right.
But you got it, and like keep working on it. And then also he's so right about Austin being one of these places that people really want to mentor you. They want to be a part of your journey and your experience. And I'm just like, I'm like, I see people like every day just like collaborating in the city, and
so it's like once you're connected to someone, that person will connect you with someone else, and that person, and it's just this like never ending like web of kind, creative people who want to help in any way that they can, because we're all doing the same thing. And it's like, why would you hide something from like another artist? Like if it's like good knowledge, like you obviously want to share that, and
that there's space for all of us. It's not like, that's the one thing I feel like even though obviously we're all competing with ourselves to be like, you know, like get our shine, get our, you know, our moment, but I feel like it's never at the detriment of other artists, at least in the city. I feel a lot of people are very you know, open, welcoming, and wanting to super
different than like Nashville or LA or New York. But yeah, he actually ended up passing away my sophomore year of college, which was like a really weird thing for me, because it was always like he was gonna be there, and like this label was there, and like when I got to college, I did college. Like I kind of put music to the side, because I was like, I'm in college, like I'm gonna be a college student. And like for me at that point, music wasn't a fire in me yet. It hadn't that hadn't been ignited yet. So it was just like very much like I would go to like one or two open mics here and there, sort of write sometimes. And then when he passed, I had this like weird, like I just like woke up. I was like, oh, I can't keep like waiting for something to happen, or like I can't keep like thinking, you know, like if this is what I want to do, I need to do it. And then that's when I kind of like really like started doing music in Austin, which is like very interesting. But that connection, like his connection to like several people that I know now, is like a huge reason why I'm doing music in Austin. So
wow,
very cool.
So amazing. Yeah
That's
like, I mean, sometimes we need that that moment when one of
yeah.
our passions literally just like goes, okay, it's my turn to go right through to the front of your mind. So you were talking about, you know, when you came to college, you were just doing college. So you studied computer science, correct?
Did.
So when did you get interested in computer science? No, I am always so amazed because we had to build one static page for our journalism, and I was the last one in the room because I put an extra space somewhere, and that's why like my whole page is just and that's just, you know, like that's like the cherry on top compared to all the things that y'all would have to do. So like talk about
why did I choose this life? So it was this really cool program called Girls Who Code my summer going into freaking awesome program. Summer going into senior year, my mom was really pushing computer science because she's a recruiter in Silicon Valley. So she hires people for a living, and she's like, this is a degree that will get you a job out of college. And like for me, like I was thinking about studying like music industry or like just like straight up music, or just like psychology was a huge other passion of mine. And she was like, this is like, you know, you're gonna do this. So I did the program, and it was very difficult. Computer science has never been easy for me. And I was like, okay, like this is cool. So I decided to like major in it. But it was never something that I was like, this is a passion, this is what I want to do. It was more like my parents were helping me pay for college, and they were like, we're not going to help you pay to get like a psychology degree, they would say, because they're from Silicon Valley and they're around the tech. It's huge,
rules the entire area. And
they both work like in tech, so they both see it every day, and they're, you know, it's very much like,
it was my parents with health at the beginning. It was all about like somewhere in the health profession, and even though I wanted to be a vet, that for something like my mom was like, that's not enough, you know, like you know, eventually she turned around on that, but
exactly
didn't even end up doing
I feel that it was a very interesting journey getting through 4 years of studying something that I wasn't passionate about. It was very, very difficult, but I did it, and I somehow did not bad, and I have that degree, and I will forever hold that degree, just like wave that thing around because I'm incredibly proud of myself for pushing through something that I was never passionate about. And it definitely learned a whole lot about that. So computer science, hard, so difficult. And I have friends who went and, you know, they're software engineers right now, and they are passionate about it. So it was really cool seeing that like progression of people who were kind of like really in it, and like they would code on the weekends because they wanted to create and they wanted to, you know, solve problems. And for me, like what I did on the weekends was like play music or like go outside or, you know, hang out with my friends. Like it wasn't something that I was passionate about, so I never like practiced it or anything.
I got that. That was like literally like entire struggle in biology. I was like, I love animals, I love science and theory of learning, but like you just make this too stressful for me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But let's transition to post-grad. So hello employed ladies, what's happening? I feel that same thing every day. I'm just like, when I get out of my car and like go check the mail, I'm like, when did we get this life that, you know, it's 5 p.m. and we're checking the mail?
And what happened,
you know, going upstairs to go, that was a long one.
That was a long one. Like laying in bed like, today was a day.
Like, and tomorrow is gonna be another one.
Another whole day.
The fact that weekends feel like so, I don't know, like I want to hold them up, I know, like holy grail style. But talk about working. So like you work at Generate, correct?
I work at so my LinkedIn is not updated. girl. No, so I work at Beachh, which is this like cloud storage management company, and Yeah, it's a tech company in downtown Austin.
That's literally the tagline of my life too. Tech company downtown Austin.
Yeah, it's very
Silicon Valley, the South. We are.
Yeah, true. I work a true 9 to 5 job, or 8 to 5 really, and I do that for 8 hours a day, and then I go home and do music for 5 hours every day.
How would you, because I find myself also now like at a point of my career versus my creative and like my passions that like, you know, are really fighting to like continue to still always have their presence and their, you know, their placement. Like they're like, no, we're not going to lose any. Right. How do you deal with your burnout or your, you know, when you're tired at the end of the day? Like, how are you pushing past those moments sometimes? I mean, we talked about you were up till 4 a.m. last night. So how do you handle that? How, like, what mental space do you go to, or what like physical things are you doing? Like maybe you're like yerbaing like, insanely. I don't know.
Coffee, iced coffee.
Oh, yes.
I'm like drinking Dunkin' Donuts right now. Honestly, I think it's just like a mindset, and what I've been telling myself recently is like, if you're wanting to make this work, you need to just do it as much as you can. And being tired after work is just not an option. You can't, like, I mean, I don't know, and I also feel like I haven't yet felt that burnout. Yeah. It's something that it's really surprising, because I told myself like the moment I started feeling like work was taking away from my ability to continue to create and do music was the moment I would quit my job and I would figure something else out. And I haven't felt that yet, which is like pretty cool. I think a huge part of it is being around so many creative people and so many people who are so driven, and they take dreams and goals and they really manifest them, and they really like turn that into like their truth and their reality. And seeing those people and hanging out with those people on a day-to-day basis, I'm like, oh, I can't just go home and watch Netflix after work because I'm not doing what I want. Like that's not adding to like, that's not going to help me get to my goals. So it's very much like, it's really just a mindset, honestly.
It is what it is sometimes. Sometimes you just have to say, you know, fuck it. Like, honestly. Like, that's what, like, you see so many times. You're like, not saying you don't have to be a big artist, but have a big artist mindset in terms of the fact that when they are not getting sleep because they literally have to fit all those things in one day. And even though you could be at the point where it's just like, well, it's like something I like to do, so like if it doesn't get done, it's not like, you know, like anybody's really waiting for it or expecting it. But like hold yourself to that standard of being like, as if the entire world was waiting for this to come out at this moment, even though if nobody knows it's happening. But hey, work as if like, you know, the world is waiting for your shit, because the world just might be waiting for your shit and not even knowing that it needs it. Well, I'm glad that you haven't reached that point.
Me fucking too. Truly.
So before we get into your actual creative work, I want to do, this is like a new thing I want to try. I'm just like fun questions to just really get to know people.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's go. First, we'll start off easy. What's your sign?
Sag. Okay. Sagittarius.
Yeah. Fave color.
Honestly, as of late, yellow.
I know. Yellow, green, and blue are becoming like just that whole... Yes. Okay. And we talked for a moment over DM about your favorite candy. I forgot the name. You said you're like, it's nowhere. You're like,
they're called Zots, dude. I don't know. I used to... I have a really good friend from back home who introduced me to them. I think there's some like East Coast candy, but now they're like everywhere. You just go to a candy store and they're there. They're these dope ass like... I don't know. They're sour, and when you bite into them, there's like this like fizz stuff that comes out.
Oh, that's cool.
And you're like, it's like exciting.
Okay, I'm actually I'm gonna go. It's Sunday. They always close early, but I was gonna go down SoCo to go to Big Top
that they'll have them.
Because one, I love a milkshake from there. They have like such good. Guys, if you haven't been to Big Top in Austin, you need to go. I don't know if you haven't been to Big Top. Did you not do your stereotypical first trip down?
Yeah, it's so
I don't know what
cool.
you've done. All of our like friends like, no, that's not where I go.
That's not where I hang out.
I just hang out at Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
Like you say.
Kitty Cohen all the way.
Okay, so if you could only eat at one Austin food joint for the rest of the year, not for the rest of your life, just the rest of the year, where are you going?
This is really hard. Honestly, Bolden Creek.
Right?
There's so many options. Many options.
And you really could truly like get, I mean, you got breakfast there, and then, I mean, yeah, lunch and dinner.
Lunch and dinner.
Things. Yeah, wow. Wow, you just picked a good answer. I wonder how like people are going to answer in the future. Be like, actually, no.
Yeah, come at me.
Okay, let's speak correctly, Brie. Fave local spot for catching a show, music wise.
Hotel Vegas.
Hotel Vegas. Honestly, the loudest place I think you can like pass by some nights.
Oh yeah, you can hear the whole concert.
Like I'll be like
3 blocks away.
I'll be going to like, what is it? Ramen Tatsuya and just like bopping down the street.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Okay, and then the one underrated place in Austin that you're like, I don't know why this place doesn't get its freaking hype.
Honestly, the Eastern.
I've never been there. I think, okay, my friend Dom, I think like New Wave and them, don't they do like sounds out of there?
Yeah,
right?
It's a super sick, like very hidden place that there's always just like dope ass music playing like on the weekends, and people just get down hard.
Get out there. What am I doing?
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Some days I'll be sitting at home and I'm like, what am I doing?
What is the point
I need to go live a little bit.
You know, I definitely feel that.
And then our last one is, what is the mantra or like one belief that like you live by or like you repeat to yourself?
I think the thing recently for me has been like, be here, like be present and have purpose in everything you do, like purpose and intent. Don't just do something to do it, like why are you doing it, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, now transitioning to talk about your music, guys. Oh my gosh, like seriously. Okay, let's first talk about like the process. So now you're actually developing yourself into a strong songwriter, and then let's actually talk about, you know, developing chords, developing like the actual
process.
Yeah, actually about the music, because this is something I've always been so interested in, because I'm just like, how do you hear it? You know, like how do you see the words before you hear the music, or is it which way for you?
I think my songwriting process is I pick up like a guitar or piano, and I'll just play some chords, and I'll be like, oh, these chords are kind of cool, and then I'll come up with kind of like a melody or something, and then I take my phone and I pull out voice memos and I just hit recording, and then I just like sing over it and just kind of see like what comes out of my mouth and like what's in my head at the time. And that's how I write songs. Like I've written like a few where I've like come up with some words first and then I've fit it to music. But really it's just kind of like pretty much like improv. Yeah.
I like that, because it's like just like that you find yourself like maybe like you're like, wait, what was that? Gotta run to my phone. Like just like record before it like literally disappears into
my brain. Yeah. And that's happened so many times.
So what was it like developing your sound and maybe, you know, transitioning from, you know, what you grew up doing to actually saying like, where am I going with how I'm gonna, you know, because there is a process of like you not imitating, but actually like saying like, this is me, this is what.
Oh man, it was honestly thinking back to it now, even a year ago I was like sitting in my bed and just like crying because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I like have a sound in my head and I just can't articulate it, and it just took time and like listening to other music to really figure out like how to describe what was in my head and what I heard in my head. But yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. I think like I grew up on listening to like old school like country folk, and that was always like so close to my heart that I still wanted to somehow incorporate that in my songs, or at least in like the songwriting part of it. But I just really love this like kind of like ethereal, dreamy, kind of like warm feeling when you like listen to it.
Yeah, which is exactly what I felt was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just like, for me, it's like I want my music to feel like you're getting a hug when you listen to it. Like, and like everything's gonna be okay, kind of a thing. Even if it's like a song about like a fucked up relationship, or, you know, like the falling out of like love, or like a traumatic experience, like something where you listen to it and you're like I feel good now.
Yeah.
Because that's what music does for me in a lot of ways. So that was kind of my...
I love how sometimes music you like listen to later on in life, and like actually the lyrics just somehow like you're like, whoa, that's not what those said before, because now I actually understand exactly what those... Yeah,
music is beautiful for that reason, for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about writer's block, or maybe creative block. What maybe do you find yourself like, not necessarily experiencing it often, but like do you find yourself like kind of like getting in those moments, like, you know, like just like everybody else, I'm like, sure, but just like what do you do to get out of them? Is it something that you just gotta go like, maybe I just need a break for a couple of days, or do you actually have like maybe like a ritual or something that you do that kind of gets your focus back?
Yeah, I think I'm actually like in that right now. I've been having a difficult time creating recently because I've been so much in like the business mode of everything, like booking shows and like promoting stuff and doing like Instagram ads and market. It's just... And you do a lot of like yourself, right? I do all of
everything.
It.
Yeah,
all of it
I
on
understand.
my own. Yeah.
I love when you talk in like the third person, like just in general, like I'll do that of like we're so excited, or, like things like that. And like it's just me.
It's just me, bitch.
It's everyone. Guys.
Yeah, it's everyone. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean I've been super hyper focused on that, which is good because I've normally pushed that to the side. But recently I've been like, oh no, that's like actually the most important thing. Like, no, you can make an incredible music, but if you don't promote it, if you don't learn who your audience is and like what demographic you're trying to target, then like you may as well just not make it, which is really sad. But a lot of times like it's hard for it to just become naturally like, you know, 1,000 people hear your songs without like promoting it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've kind of been in that like mind space recently. So I've been like very much creatively drained, and I've just been kind of like a drought in terms of like songwriting and stuff. But I think like the thing that really helps kind of like ignite that creativeness again would be honestly just like spending time alone, like driving. Honestly, in my car, I live very close, so like, you know, there's like a country road like down that way, and like 3 p.m. I'll just like get into my car and turn on my music as loud as I can, roll the windows down, and just like drive and just not think about anything else but just like where I'm at. And it's very weirdly healing because I'm like just sitting there and just like focusing. It's like I'm meditating. Yeah. And then normally after I do that, it's very much like, okay, like we can like start again. Like it's kind of like wipes the slate clean, which is weird, but it works for me. I don't know.
There's nothing better than like an empty-headed like car drive. I've like tried to challenge myself more. I want to like just put a random spot on like maps, and just like drive for the day and just be like, okay, what's here? Let's see. Let's kick it here.
Let's hang. Yeah, no, definitely.
So now let's talk about getting into the studio. I know you mentioned earlier how you in the studio, even in like 2014, is so different in terms of just like what you knew about terminology and things like that.
Yeah.
But what is it like now going in the studio for you? Like going to create? Like how are these long hours? Like what is it? It's just like, okay, what time do you get there? And then how is it like actually working? And what are your like favorite studios? Like where you like to record a lot?
So I did my 2 singles right now that are out at Ice Cream Factory Studio, which is run by an awesome guy named Matt Parmenter, and he helped produce both of the songs. And with those songs, I kind of had an idea. I did a demo for Serenity, and I kind of had like a keyboard line that I worked with my friend to create, and then we had kind of just like a basic structure. So we like went in, and because it's like you get charged by the day, we do a song in one day, which is like super intimidating because you're like, oh fuck, I have to make everything right and like perfect. So that's kind of like how those two songs went, where like, you know, we show up at like 10 a.m. I bring snacks for the dudes, and then we just like spend the whole day in the studio just like getting everything recorded, like all the different parts, and then we do like post-production, adding like all like the ear candy stuff, the vocal production. Sometimes I'll do vocals a different day, but that's kind of like the process. That's what it's been for those two songs. But now it's really different because I'm not going into a studio to record, because it was very much like there was a lot of pressure to like make it perfect, and a lot of times I left feeling kind of like, oh god, like that part wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be now that I've listened to it after a few days. So my creative process now is very different, and I'm working with a few different people on some new stuff, but it's very much like you go in, you talk about a song, and then you record a little bit, and then you go back the next weekend, you record a little bit more, you change some things. So it's a very different process now, which I'm actually very stoked about. Yeah.
That's so exciting. That's so cool. I mean, like, we all have that moment, you know, in the shower when we're like, I'm in the studio. Yeah. I'm like making music.
Making music.
But it's so cool to like actually think about going in there. One, I mean, when you're talking about like, oh, you don't like that, like how that sounded like before, that's so, I feel like that's so like real in the moment. Like, is it sometimes you even like stop, like, man, you're like, no, that's not how I want it. Like, take it back already.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And also about ear candy, I think ear candy is the best part of a song. Like anything, because those are like, I feel like those are the parts that, you know, when you get down to it, like true fans always know. They're like, oh, I'm this part and this part and this part. And that's what I see a lot in your two singles, which actually we'll talk about in a little bit. But, you know, getting all of those layers, just like that, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this heavenly orchestra is just like come down to bless my ears right now.
Right.
So,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So let's talk about playing on 94.1 FM Wimberley. So, am I mistaken to think, okay, was that the first or the second time you were playing on radio? I know before, was it just your song that had played on the radio before, or had you actually played live on the radio?
I've actually been playing with Coach on that station since 2018.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, he's a character, and I love going on. I just love Wimberley, like in general. It's a beautiful area.
Yes, I've gotten to go once, but
it's so nice. Yeah, it's a great little town. But yeah, it's so much fun. I love like just talking, and like, you know, it's really cool to just like talk about the songs that I've written, because normally people are like, it's a cool song, but they're never like, what is the song about? What is the song to mean to you? What are you wanting to get across? Like, so that kind of having that like conversation it's always very cool. But yeah, playing on radio is dope. Hoping to get on more radio stations.
Yes, of course. I bet that like moment though, like what would you say like that the first time it happened? Was it just like, oh, okay, like was it nerve-wracking, or were you just like more like even just so excited that you weren't even like, no, you're just like, no, let's just get this done?
Oh yeah, no, I was super stoked. I was like, yeah, because I've always been like, this is me radio voice, and like I used to practice like like interviews and stuff like in my room, like looking at myself in the mirror, like practicing like, so CAELIN, tell us about yourself, and I'd be like, well. So it's always been kind of like something I've always wanted to do. So it's definitely very, very, very cool.
I always think of the Fairly Odd Parents when they got like the magic mic and made double tea in the morning. Yes. That smooth radio voice. I'm like, don't we all wish that we could sound like that on the radio? Sometimes I listen to these and I'm like, why did I sound like that?
Why is my voice disgusting?
Okay, so now, oh my gosh, we can talk about these two beautiful singles. So
thank you, man.
Of course, Serenity came out for Your Love. Your Love is our recent, just like beautiful. Shout out to Sierra. I loved your story of you dancing in your mirror too.
I love her.
Oh my gosh, the cover art for both are so beautiful. Serenity, obviously, that's your return. I mean, like that was it on a beach back at home?
Yes.
Back at home, yes. So, I mean, you know, we talked earlier about your connection to the beach and like, also, I mean, talking about your ghostly like sound and then also the layering of your voices. I think both cover arts very like much reflect that.
That's awesome.
Your love, like also with just like the fact that you have those different facets of you with the torn like paper look. I mean, that's what like I got out of it, but they're just two beautiful sounding ones. I added them to my playlist I call Candlestick Holder because that's the one that I feel like homey, because that's what your voice reminds is like, you know, like you said, like that warm hug, and that's what Candlestick Holder is like, something I feel like you have on that wooden table in that like tiny little like you know, it's like raining outside and like that's what and that's really what I get from those. So I want you to talk about one, just the process of writing those. Are those recent or were those like in the last like year or so, like, or would you say they're like fairly recent within the recording time?
I think I finished writing Serenity, I think like last February, and then we recorded it in April of last year, which is weird because that was almost a year ago. And then Your Love was finished like around like the same time I released, or the same time that I was recording Serenity. So I had these two songs that I knew were like done, and Serenity was first because that was the one I knew exactly kind of like what I was going for. Your Love was more of like a kind of like a question mark for myself. I didn't really know where to go with that one, but Serenity, I knew it was very much like, this is a song about home and I want to make it sound like how I feel about home and like the ocean, which is very much like when I go to the ocean, it's like very dreamy and like mystical and ethereal, and I knew I wanted like really reverbed like ooze like in the background and like a violin.
Oh my gosh, yes, and both like there was like this was one part in like your love when I heard, I was just like, woo, it's just like that. I would say like the violin, I mean, it really talks about when you think about like tugging on your heartstrings, you think about like they're just like really sweet notes that like just pair so well, and they create both this like this kind of like idea of, I think, beauty, but also can convey this like these like sad, longful, kind of like very deep, like hidden like valid kind of like emotions. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
but, like, that
it's gorgeous. It's my boyfriend did the violin, and he's an incredible musician. So I've seen like y'all like getting like to perform. Like, is that awesome? Like just like getting to share that passion with him all the time. Yeah. It's definitely very special. It's special with like honestly every single musician in my life. I have this like insane connection with that goes way beyond like a friendship or like a relationship, which is really cool. But yeah, this damn violin playing is fucking amazing. No, guys, if you like listen, like honestly, you just like, I didn't know what to expect. Like first, like honestly, this was like my first taste of your music, and like as soon as it like came through my freaking car speaker, I was like, whoa, yeah, that's awesome.
I was like, this is so good, and not only were your vocals, I mean, I think the production just was just like, I was like, this is just so well crafted.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. So like, I cannot wait for you to carve out your like exact moment and just be like, oh my gosh, guys, like look at this, and like guys go like listen to the interview, because like that's what I really want like this to be. Right. You know, like I want this podcast first to be like something like you were talking about, people and like the artists around you pushing you every day. Yeah. I mean, like this is for the people that know you. This is for the people that are just in there. They're like, what? Yeah. just be passionate and do what you want, and
right,
things like that. And
yeah,
I also just want it to be something like all of these people can look back on and be like, whoa, that's what I said I was doing, and I was just like also so proud of that, but look what I'm even doing now.
Yeah, no, that's very cool to think about. That's really fucking awesome.
So let's talk about recent performances. Oh my gosh, wait, so you got to like debut, I guess, in a way, like Your Love at Cheer Up Charlie's.
Yeah,
how amazing was
that? Was honestly, I think, like, looking, I wrote in my journal after, because I had this, like, I had a release party for Serenity. It was at my friend's house, and we did this whole, like, we decorated the house, and it was very much, like, I wanted people to, like, walk in to the house and feel like they were in the world of Serenity, which, like, which we made happen, which was the dopest thing ever. And it was, like, my closest friends and family in a room, and I performed the song, and it was very, like, close and intimate experience. And then for the Your Love release, I was like, I want to fucking play a show, like, in Austin. I want it to be at a dope venue. I want it to be a dope lineup, and I want to headline. And that's how I'm going to release this song. And I had never, like, I played a show at Stubbs, like, 7 or 8 months earlier. And then this, like, opportunity came, and honestly, I was like, oh, I can definitely do this. Like, that was a show that I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen. Like, it's gonna be a thing. And, like, I felt so, it was like my first time playing with this specific group that I'm playing with now, my band, and the reaction that we got from people was very, like, humbling, because I was like, oh, people genuinely like this that aren't my friends, which was, like, you know, like, when you first, like, are getting, like, you know, you're rolling the ball, like, you're getting going with your passion, your art and stuff, like, you just never know what you like it, you think it's good, but, like, you just never know people's reactions. And, like, people were coming up to us, like, random people, they're like, oh my god, like, are y'all signed? Like, where are you playing next? Like, when's the next show? Like, how long have you guys been playing together? And we're like, oh, this is our third time playing together. So
that's crazy awesome. Yeah. Just, like, already kind of just, like, I mean, while the goal as an artist is not to live off of validation, but getting validation is just so, it's just like, you're like, okay. Yeah. It's like, it's kind of like your extra spark. It's like,
it's like, we know that we killed that performance and we felt good about it, but having people validate and be like, that was actually really cool. And it's like, I'm really happy that you feel that way, because I also feel that way. And it was a really very, very, very cool night.
Now, who else was at that show? Who else?
Vaughn played.
Oh, of course. Oh my gosh.
She's so fucking dope. No. So fucking talented.
We actually last ran into each other at Austin Roller Rink. She like goes, Brie? Like, half, I'm like, what? Half falling over. Yeah. Like, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's insane.
Nicest, like, one of the, like, nicest people.
Oh yeah, ever. So talented. This other really sick artist, Madison Baker, played, and then Indoor Creature also played. Oh, and they're just the most ridiculous group of dudes who make, like, insanely good music. So it was really cool to play, like, on a bill with, like, all those, like, really dope artists. And it was my first time playing, like, Cheer Up Charlie's. So I was like,
I know, and Cheer Up is such, I mean, it truly is such a fun.
It was, like,
I get to do
perfect
there. Yeah, and I'm just like, every time I have, like, a great time. I get my guys. There's Harlow's, of course. But okay, there's 2 drinks that I'm obsessed with at Cheer Up Charlie's. One of them is the Valley Girl. I'm obsessed with that one. I don't know why. It's the pineapple juice, probably. Every time I go there, I offer it to one of my friends, and like, I don't like pineapple
juice.
I like no. And then there's another one I just recently tried. I think it's maybe it's the Yeti, or maybe it's but it tastes like a horchata dream, and I'm just like,
give me more.
I know, I'm like, this is gonna be my new signature drink. It's like, yes, so my tab that I know I'll actually forget to close out, and you'll charge me $20 for. Yeah. But it's great. It's great.
No, yeah, it's a great place.
And then let's talk about Mohawk. So that was a great show, right? That was the next, like, 2 months.
It was like 3. That was on the 22nd. So it was like 3 weeks after my Cheer Up show. That was actually probably one of the coolest things I've ever done, because I am obsessed with Mama Hawk and Mid-Century, who I opened for. I've been going to their shows for a really long time, honestly. I think almost a year and a half. Mama Hawk is my favorite band in Austin, like hands down. I've been obsessed with them. I go to every single one of their shows. I'm always in the front, and I'm dancing.
That's my favorite thing about Austin shows. Like, everybody's dancing. It's just like, the vibe.
Yeah.
The vibing is like so
and
hard.
Like, and a lot of times people are like standing in the back and they're like just like slowly nodding their head. And like, and then there are the people that are like,
they're like 12 cigarette buzz. That's what those people are. They're just like happy to be here.
Yeah, like, totally here for this music. But yeah, so I basically like, I'm obsessed with both of the bands, and I recently started hanging out with the Mama Hawk dudes. We're working on a song right now that's going to be done soon. And yeah, I just became like, after going to all their shows, I slowly became friends with them. And then James, the lead singer of Mama Hawk, and I were on this like acoustic bill together at Brew and Brew back in like October, and he played and I played, and he was like, he knew me as like the fangirl because I was like, love you. And then he was like, oh, like you're dope, like you can sing and write songs, like we should collaborate sometime. And I was like, yes.
Okay.
Just because I think that both of those guys, Adam and James, are seriously like some of the most talented.
Respect them, yeah.
Super respect their talent. And then yeah, when Adam asked me if I wanted to open for like their double single release, I was like, yeah, like I'm there 100%.
He told me the deeds. Where's the poster?
Yeah.
That's always me when like anybody asks me, they're like, hey, do you have time to like? I'm like, yeah, just send me that. I just need to know what it is. Like, I will promote it. I will be there. I'm actually already in my car. I'm gonna post out there for like a month before it is.
Dude, yeah,
that's so great.
Yeah, it was very like full circle, very, very cool. Yeah.
All right. So what do you have? Oh, so we have that music in the work. Anything else that you want to shout out or like give like kind of hints at? Or like people like, oh my gosh, look out for this. Nothing you want to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there's music coming, and I'm really stoked about it. It's gonna be a little different than the first two songs I released because I feel like I've already evolved, which is really weird. But it'll be more of like a conclusive project. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it.
Oh my gosh, cannot wait.
Yeah, man.
And oh my gosh, we've come to the end of our interview. So I have the final question, and I ask this to all of my visitors. This is called the Syck Beachh question. It's if you could give advice to someone wanting to do what you do, saying that they want to be a musician, not saying necessarily that they are going to be successful,
right?
But giving them their best kind of like slingshot forward, just like, hey, you just at least got to pay attention to this. What would you tell them?
I would say just be authentic and don't try to like, just be yourself, and that will come through in your music and your art. Because when you're trying to fit into a mold and you're trying to like be someone that you're not inherently, it shows, I think. And the people who have the best music are the people who just create without that kind of like thought in the back of their head. So just like be authentic and like have purpose in what you do. 100%. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on here. Oh my gosh, wait, before we like check out. So I have a gift for you. Oh my God. It is how you make music sound. So guys, I'm giving
this
her
is so sweet.
This cute little angels.
The little portrait. What are they called? Cherubs?
Cherubs, yeah.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
Oh my God, that is so sweet. So you're kind. And they're like,
oh, whatever. So you guys have to make sure to check out CAELIN's music everywhere, guys, everywhere. It's amazing. And you know, I'm just so thankful to have gotten to sit down with you today.
I am also thankful that you have asked me to do this. This has been freaking dope.
So you guys can check out the details below. You'll have all of her links. You'll have like everywhere. Hey, tag us in if you listen, you know, to the
Please
music
do.
and
Support us.
We just want to see. Bye guys. Catch you in the next one.